to Stack the Deck with the House of Cards podcast. The show where we break down the art of creative real estate investing. Join us as we dive into the world of real estate with insider tips and tricks for making your investments go further. From buying with no money down to flipping properties for profit, we've got you covered. Plus, stay tuned for expert guest speakers who will share their knowledge and experience in this ever-changing market. So grab a seat and get ready to learn the secrets to success in real estate investing. And now, from Alaska to New York, your hosts, Chris James and Jesse Stanton.
Yo, it's Saturday. Welcome, one and all. Wherever you are in the world, we appreciate you guys being here. I'm your host. My name is Jesse Stanton. With me is my beautiful and dapper co-host, Chris James.
That is me. That is me.
What's going on, baby? How you doing this morning?
Good, man. I can't complain. I'm super tired, but what successful individual sleeps 8 hours a day?
They don't.
So that is, hey, stranger, I want to know who that is.
I would love to know who we're talking to.
Know who that is. So, guys, just make sure you guys grant StreamYard access so we can see who we're speaking to. Pam, Nicole, great to see you guys here. As always, Angel, happy. Oh, Angel has been my backbone for the last couple of days with the CC stuff. But Angel, I appreciate you more than you know. I know I don't say it enough. Thank you. Nicole, yeah, Facebook user. I really want to know who that is, but welcome. Thanks for joining us this Saturday. It's 1:30 Eastern. Well, actually, a little bit past 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, going on 2 o'clock, actually. Sorry for the delay on our end. But thanks for being here. So, a couple announcements, guys, before we get right into it. Don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, whatever platform you love to listen to. Sean Hand. Hey, Sean, what's going on, man?
Hey, baby!
Good to see you. Come on. We got to know who he's speaking to. Grant StreamYard access so we know. So we basically have your name visible. We can also let people know who they can reach out to, man. But good to see you here. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe, guys. We're on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, or we are streaming live from YouTube or Facebook, but wherever you're at, make sure you're JVing in the comments, squatting up, and getting to know one or another. And make sure you're building relationships, guys. Make sure this is a fruitful relationship. You're not just wasting time. We appreciate you guys being here, but at the end of the day, we want everyone that's watching right now, we're going to watch in the future, to be let's be successful. Let's get around the right individuals and let's make things happen.
100%, bro. 100%. Well, I want to add on real quick onto that announcement. So Chris and I also have a Friends with Benefit Zoom that we're doing for all the Sub-2 students here in T-minus about 2 hours from now, give or take. So it's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern time, right?
That is correct.
It's 1 to 2 Arizona time. I'm in Alaska. Chris is on Mars. I don't know. You guys, I think it's 4 p.m. Eastern time technically is when it starts. So if you guys are wanting to learn how you can skyrocket your business, start making a lot more progress by not doing everything, focusing on one thing, and let us show you how to make these connections. And so what we're doing in that Zoom is going to end up being a speed dating thing that is going to be really, really fun. But there's also going to be a little bit of a knowledge and education site that happens beforehand. So we'll probably spend the next week or two giving you guys a little bit more tips and tricks, things to be cognizant of, and some ideas for being intentional, structuring your day, and really understanding what your superpower is, how to leverage it, and how to monetize it, and how to bring other people who are the Michael Jordan of their avatars into your business. You know, it was really neat. I'm doing a connector series as well for everybody who's watching or will be watching. That is a connector. I'm going to show you guys how to monetize just being a connector. So I think that's the really interesting thing. Connectors are very unique individuals. They're people just that have a different thought process and mindset surrounding wanting to genuinely just be of service to people and to help people. And for a lot of people, sometimes, and myself included, it's hard to look at helping people and think, man, I could have made money on that. And then once you understand how to do it, it's still like, well, not only that, it's like once you understand that you should be doing it or that you can be doing it, it's like, man, how do I do it? And it's not awkward. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. If you guys want to learn how you can start making money by leveraging those connections, make sure that you guys attend. Our next Zoom is going to be Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. What else? What else am I missing on that? If you want access to the last week's recording, then go to my Facebook profile. There's some instructions there on how you guys can access that recording. But I just want to preface this, that moving forward, starting Tuesday, the recordings moving forward for about maybe the next 3 or 4 weeks will not be recorded. You will not have access to them. If you miss the live, you will not have access to them. And this isn't one of those things where I'm saying this out loud and then I'm gonna give you guys a recording. It's not going to happen. The only people who are going to get access to that knowledge are people that actually show up. And not only that, we are capping it at 100 people. So we had nearly double that registered for last week's event, which was super awesome. It was a lot of fun. It was a big turnout, tons of value. Again, if you guys are connectors, you wanting to learn how to monetize, then you have to be there live on Tuesday. The only recording you'll have access to is last week's. And if you guys want that recording, go to my Facebook and there's a post on there on how you guys can get access to that. Anything else we're missing, Chris? Also, you know what? If you guys, if there's anybody that's watching, or if anybody that knows somebody that is good at, what's the word? Like creating videos, Chris? I don't even know how to word it.
Content creating.
Content creator, editor,
yeah,
all that kind of fun stuff. Send them, shoot me a DM. Shoot me a DM. Would love to meet up with somebody who has some experience in that. Chris and I have a couple things that we want to do. So anyway, yeah, I think that's it. Oh, real quick, everybody who's interested in coaching, we have our next cohort for the Growth Coach starting on September 13th. If you guys would love more information on that, or if there's any connectors that are watching this that are connecting with people that might want some direction, want some coaching, want a roadmap, want a blueprint, want some clarity on how to get some traction in their business, and they would be interested in some coaching, definitely send them my way. We are doing, would love to pay you for referrals as well. So there's a way right there, if you're a connector, where you can make a couple grand a month just by the people that you're talking with anyway, and being a resource. If coaching or getting a blueprint set up for their own individual goals and things they're wanting to do, send them my way. Would love to help and be a resource any way I can. Joel, thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate you, man. Chris, anything else that we're missing before we dive in here? If you guys need TC services, make sure you guys are reaching out to Chris. I've had like 2 or 3 people reach out to me just in the last 48 hours alone that are like, Jesse, I need help figuring out how to structure this on paper. And my response is, dude, who not how? Who not how? Let me tell you guys something. Of all the money that I've made and all the deals that I've done over the last, 3.5 years, let alone all the deals and money that Chris and I have made just in the last, how long has it been since we've been partners, bro? 16, 15 months, maybe somewhere in there?
Yeah, going
so
a little bit
12 months would have been June. So July, August, and we're almost getting into September now. So yeah, we're getting there. Believe it or not, guys, I still, to this day, I don't know how to fill out a contract. If my wife and kids were kidnapped and they were held at gunpoint, and the only way that I got them back was if Jesse filled out a contract appropriately and sent it to a seller or a buyer, I'd be like, to be honest with you, my kids might be kind of screwed. I don't know. But you know what? I'm a big fan. If you guys have been watching, or you know Chris and I at all, and how we've built our business, the people that we've connected with, how we've monetized, you know that we are a big proponent of who, not how. The question you guys should not be asking yourself, if you don't know the question or if you don't know the answer, isn't how do I learn this? Or where can I go get this information so that I can learn it? If you are asking yourself, how do I do this? You are doing it wrong. You are wasting so much stinking freaking time. Go find somebody who's already doing it. That's their superpower. That's their avatar. And go be a leader. Yep. Go lead with value. It's that freaking easy. So if anybody needs any TC services, or if anybody's wondering, how do I put this on paper to make everything legal and legit, and all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, in case you do get audited, they're dotted. Reach out to Chris, man. Have Chris do it. Thankfully, I'm so glad that Chris oversees that entire part of our business. Chris,
yeah, absolutely. And no, I appreciate that, man. I really do it. Pansy, absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, my personal vehicle was subject to. I literally just bought that a few weeks ago. Actually, it's going on a month. Yeah, and actually, I'm buying by the end of the month. I'll probably have about 4, if not 5, vehicle that I personally either going to move forward with, either subject to. But I can tell you for sure that our company, we definitely do RVs. We have TC RVs back in April. We TC motorcycles back in February. We do it all. We do it all. If we can't do it, we can definitely let you know specifically who could do it. But we're 98. We can do about 98% of what you need done. 1,000%.
Chris's slogan is, if I can't get it done, then I'll hand you the keys to the store.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're working with Ken. We're working with a lot of people, and more so, like, I just want to say before we jump right into it, I want to thank everyone, just giving us the opportunity, just to, trust us with your paperwork and ensure that it gets to the finish line smoothly. Reaching out to ask specific questions, and we always want to make sure you feel comfortable. If it's not a good fit, it's not a good fit, and we always have that conversation to begin. And I tell all the of our clients, more so specifically, like, hey, it may not be a good fit. I want you to meet the team and see if it's going to be a good fit. And I just want to say thank you. Just thank you for giving us the opportunity and just giving a chance to show you our user experience. And that's one thing we really focus on. So I just 100%. Wanted to just throw that out there. And yeah, with further ado, should we jump right into it, man?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Again, to go on Chris's thing, Chris and I love doing, like, starting out any of our meetings that we do with our team, within our business, everything, and especially coming in here, spending time with you guys on a Saturday afternoon or morning, I guess, depending on, where you are, is just starting out with an attitude of gratitude. So to piggyback off what Chris was saying, just thank you guys again. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to work with you in so many different faucets. It's truly humbling, and we're super grateful for the opportunity. So thank you guys for that opportunity. Thank you for being here. We're very grateful and appreciative of it. And if you know anybody else who would benefit from being here with us, please, send them our way. We'd love to see where we can all, just help and grow and develop and, become those people that we're capable of becoming, getting uncomfortable and solving problems. That's the overarching theme of what we're going to be talking about today.
Absolutely. Jesse, is speed dating just for sub 2?
It is just for sub 2. Yes, speed dating is just for sub 2 only. However, the connector Zoom is open to everybody.
Correct. That is correct. And I actually missed this comment. That's actually hilarious. TC data service.
Ooh, there we go. There we go.
That'd probably be another business itself. How about reach out to Angel? She can help you with that. Well, amazing. Oh, cool. Without further ado, should we just jump right into it, man?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, man. So the big thing that we want to talk about today, guys, is, well, it's kind of in line with our why we started our podcast, why we started our Facebook group, the House of Cards. Now, I've introduced this a lot, but I'm going to let Chris do it because he came up with the entire reason why we should call it House of Cards. But I'll let you kick it off, brother.
No, absolutely. So House of Cards, right? When you first hear about it, people think it's potentially dealing with, like, the casino, gambling, blackjack, whatever your favorite game is if you go to the casino. But the House of Cards, right? It was developed based on some of the obstacles Jesse and I were going through, and within our business, and still going through, which is totally fine. We love it. We love these obstacles. Without obstacles, maybe are we doing everything right, or are we doing it wrong? So you need those obstacles, and I think obstacles are always win-win situations because it's a learning curve. It's always learning opportunities, and it's more so growth and developing stone within the business. So the name came about more so the House of Cards because let's be transparent. When you're buying a property, you just never know what kind of hand you're gonna be dealt. It could be picture perfect, built this year, built literally this year. It looks perfect. You do the walkthrough. You just never know. Then you close on the property, and then you find out all these different things. Maybe there's an entire mouse family under the basement that was waiting for you to close in the house. You just never know, right? But more so the topic of House of Cards, or just the concept, what came from you just in real estate, you just never know what kind of business or asset you're going to get yourself into. And the worst houses could be the best houses, meaning like the ugliest houses. The ugliest houses could be the best houses, and the house that was just built 30 days ago could be the worst house. So it's kind of like it's a balance beam. I love it due to the fact of I love being in real estate. I love that Jesse's one of my business partners, and that I can call him that. So I truly appreciate that. Thank you, Jesse, for that. And the House of Cards when it came about, just more so as we thought about, we have to name it that because what obstacles that I don't know if, especially in real estate. Everyone in their business is facing obstacles. They may not say it, but they're facing obstacles. Just throwing that out there. They're facing something. If they say, "Oh, everything is perfect," no, it's not perfect. And it never is. Which brings us to a more so. We want to talk about one of our properties. We, actually, I think it marks almost a year that we had got this under contract, or actually, the wholesaler signed this to us. So, oh my God, it's actually been August.
It's over a year. It's over a year. So me and the wholesaler went and actually door knocked to this property. It was I'm going to say it was in May of last year.
May. Oh, okay. Gotcha. May. Okay. Gotcha. It probably wasn't assigned till probably August. Gotcha.
Right.
Yep. But no, more so, we've been dealing with an obstacle for a little bit over a year, right? And most people would give up. The things we went through with just one property, a lot of people would just give up. Now, I just want to paint the picture. One thing about us, we like to be very transparent with everyone we work with and everyone we're around, due to the fact that we don't want you guys to go through this, right? So, in this transaction, right, it was a subject to transaction, and the seller unfortunately died 2 weeks after the closing. However, there's a lot of different things that happened during that 2-week time period. So behind the scenes, this was a self-performance. So essentially, there was no title company. There was no escrow.
Now, why was there no title company or escrow, Chris?
Because the specific loan that was in place called for to be done that way. And well, it's Alaska. Just throwing that out there. Alaska. It's Alaska. Just say Alaska. Then
there's like two people that live up here, bro, and one of them is me, and the other one is not somebody who is a title company owner.
Oh, that is hilarious. But yes, one, it was in Alaska. It was a type of specific loan. Sometimes, depending on the verbiage with an underlying loan, whether it's a VA, most times it's either a VA loan or FHA loan, which those two specific loans, they have underwriting that needs to be read. So essentially, a lot of title companies find it high risk, and if they do perform it specifically, they will get blacklisted from their underwriter. So a lot of title companies say no. A lot of times say no, we don't touch those. It's got to be the conventional. It can't be FHA, it can't be VA, and it's fine. It is totally fine. So we self-perform that. Well, yeah, so the transaction was self-performed at that specific time. So all the documents were recorded by a third party. Now, during that transaction of closing on the specific transaction, the seller died within a 2-week time frame, right? The day after they signed all the notarized docs. Now, a week later after the seller died, and again, we didn't know the seller died, it was recorded, meaning like the house, the deed, and everything, all the documents are actually physically recorded on record. Now, and Jesse, you can jump in anytime if I'm, missing any part or anything like that. So more so, it was recorded. So, now this is supposed to be a fix and flip. So essentially a subtel. We took it over subject 2, and we was going to take it to retail after we renovated. We put about what $25,000, if not more. Actually, we put I think we put initially what it was like 25,000, and then we actually had to hire another contractor to redo the initial contractor's work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's another story in itself. Make sure you always vet your contractors, guys. Vet them. Don't let them BS you. I don't care if they got 100 stars on damn reviews,
especially
or
if they've got 100 stars. That doesn't mean anything. Does not mean anything.
Always make sure you vet them. But in this kind of situation with the subtel, you know, we put a lot of work into this property. We had put several liens on this property. So we had a wholesaler's lien. We had, because initially they was going to get paid about almost $30,000. We had a private money lien on the property itself. So we had tied up those 2 specific liens along with a loan modification. And guys, when dealing with loan modifications, that just, it doesn't disappear. So I just want to be quite frank with you guys. Like, if you owe $50,000 on a property and you do a loan modification, and that $50,000 in arrears goes to the end, that gets recorded as a lien. That doesn't disappear. Eventually needs to be paid off. Now, if you're dealing with like sometimes a VA loan, it all depends. Like sometimes, depending on the VA verbiage in there, it can actually delete some of it. So essentially, instead of $50,000, maybe you only have to pay $25,000. But it really all depends on the type of VA loan you have in place. But in this kind of scenario, $50,000 was another lien. So we got about what $110,000 of money just tied up on the property, which was supposed to be a 60-day process. Jesse, what'd you say? A 60-day.
Yep.
And it's going over a year and a half, almost a year and a half. And because of the challenges we went through, we went from changing contractors, almost getting attorneys involved, almost going through probate, going through not 1, 2, 3, but 4, almost 4 different title companies.
Yep.
Now, granted, it's in Alaska. Alaska's behind the times. So we actually just found out Alaska, they just started doing notaries. Not last August, but the August prior. Is that correct?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And before that, you had to like go into the title company. They didn't do like digital signatures or anything like that either.
Yeah, crazy, right?
So everything had to be done, in person, in ink.
In ink.
I should have said
the good old days.
yeah, pen and quill, man. Ink and
So
quill.
so we faced a lot of obstacles during this time, right? So and a lot of people, if you don't buy properties, it probably won't make sense when holding costs, you're paying for like the utilities, right? You're paying for utilities, you're paying for also the mortgage. The mortgage is about $1,500 on a monthly basis. You're paying for the utilities, water, gas, electric, and HOA. There's a lot of different things that was acquired in this property. So at the end of the day, Jesse and I were losing money because we're putting so much money, because we have to keep everything on.
Yep.
We have to. Holding costs, and that's why people, when they send us entry fees saying, "Oh, entry fee $50,000, everything's included," that's not true. Usually, when they send an entry, and if somebody said, "Oh, total entry is $50,000," that's probably just their assignment and the down payment to the seller. Jesse and I, when we want to see an entry fee, we want to know how much is going to the agent, how much is closing costs, how much is the holding costs, how much is going to the seller. Like we need to know 7 components. Don't just say everything is all included. And also we get to the settlement statement, and then literally it's $50,000 plus agent fees. And then also $50,000 goes to $95,000. And a lot of people, and again, it's from inexperience or not knowing exactly what that looks like for an entry fee. And I get it. You know, Jesse and I love hopping on the calls, Zooms, and going down the list and showing exactly what that looks like. And that sometimes transparently, it kills the deal. It just kills the deal because people don't understand exactly what a true entry fee looks like. So holding costs. So Jesse and I are basically acquired holding costs for a year and like a couple months, right? Mm-hmm. But we only budgeted when we took this down for 3 months. 3 months. and the lender who gave us the money, we had that budgeted in. Everything was going great. Transparent. The beginning part was smooth. It was very smooth. We did the fix and flip, and then literally I think before we even listed the property, we already had we had a lot of people super interested in it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was amazing.
The story even leading up to that
Yeah.
part, Chris, was really cool too. Like we went and door knocked myself and this wholesaler went and door knocked this individual.
Yes.
And you could tell he had kind of an alcohol problem.
Yep.
His girlfriend was very sick and their utilities were off. Do you guys know what storage bins are? You guys seen those big plastic totes? You see at Lowe's and stuff. My grandma, my mom, and my wife all use those big totes. That's what we store all of our Christmas shit in. But so there was a big plastic storage tote sitting on this guy's porch. And when we went and knocked on his door, we're sitting down talking with him next to his porch. And I'm sitting here thinking like, oh my gosh, like, don't tell me the storage tote that's filled with water is this guy's drinking water. Luckily it wasn't, but that was what he was using to flush his toilets with. It's just complete disarray.
Yeah.
Had like literally mounds of garbage bags piling up on the side of the house. It was very hard to see, and just from one human to another. And obviously you want to, our job first and foremost is to help them in any way we can, regardless of whether or not it's a good fit for us. We buy it, whatever. We're here. That's what I love about what we're doing, is we're here just to help people in any way that we can, whether we make money or we monetize on it or not. Like, we're here to make money matter. And if there's anything that we can do to make money, then again, any money that we do make, we leverage that to putting that towards a good cause or helping out more people. That's what it is we're trying to do here. And that's what's really, neat from a 30,000 foot view here. But the wholesaler that we were working with, she went above and beyond with this individual. She went and took him to the gas stations when he needed to go to the gas station to get stuff. She took him to get groceries. She paid for his groceries. Yep. She helped him go find a new apartment. And I think she also ended up paying for the security deposit, and dude, really went above and beyond. That story in and of itself, leading up to us actually buying the property, it was really kind of a neat story. It was really heartwarming. But it was neat to see. It was neat to see all that. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to give you guys some context. Like, there's obviously, if you guys are talking to people that are going through things like this, that are facing pre-foreclosure, there's often a kind of a sad story, oftentimes that goes along with it,
Absolutely.
And just being able to help those individuals in a way that really nobody else is willing to, or even in ways that nobody else can, including licensed professionals, is something that's really neat. It's very special. And if you have the responsibility, or if you have the ability to be able to help people in that way, that I think you have the responsibility to do it. So this thing was really cool. It was really interesting leading up to that side. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys some context as to what was going on leading up to this. So there were things, there were abuse problems, there were alcohol problems. I don't know for sure, but I would venture a guess there may have been some drug abuse going on as well. But really great. Actually, as a matter of fact, this wholesaler actually helped him find a job.
Yeah,
which was really neat. Yeah, really, a really awesome story. Chris and I could write an entire book and get this thing published for everything that's gone on. But yeah, I just wanted to help kind of give some context, what has, because that in and of itself is a story. Like, everything that happened before we even purchased the house was a story in and of itself. But yeah, like Chris was saying, man, there's just so much that has gone into it, and every little thing that happens, you think that you go into projects like this, you're like, okay, this makes sense. The house is this big. It requires X, Y, and Z. So you go in and you budget, for this amount. And that's why it's so important to go back to what Chris was saying. That's why we call this house of cards, because you never know what hand you're going to get dealt. Everything looks like it makes sense on the surface.
Yep.
And so, all right, well, let's go ahead and move forward. and then something completely unforeseen can happen, whether the contractor that you hired doesn't do at all what you're wanting him to do, or he's being a little deceptive, or there's a lot of miscommunication, or there's just so many things that go into it, or maybe the seller dies. Well, there's just, man, a lot that went into this deal. But that's why it's important to stack the deck, as we call it. Come here, learn from our mistakes, learn from other people that we're bringing on, get intentional with getting in the comments, sharing what you're doing. Who is it that you're wanting to connect with? Where can you learn? Where can we all develop and grow together? Because the more that we can be interactive and intentional in that way, the more we can stack our own deck for when situations like this happen. You don't feel like you are helpless. You don't feel like you have no idea what to do, or you don't feel like you have anybody that you can't turn to, because you went into it prepared. Right now is the time for you to be coming in. You should be looking at this podcast as a way of stacking your deck. Every Saturday that we have it, you should be looking at it as an opportunity to jump in and attend a business meeting with other real estate professionals. And if you're walking away without having any connections or having any intentional conversations lined up with anybody for next week or post podcast, then you're doing yourself a huge disservice. And that's not for just our podcast. That's for anything that you guys are doing throughout the week. Our podcast, I know there's a lot of other people in Sub 2 that have their own podcasts. If you're in Sub 2, there's 100 hours a week of Zooms that they have going on. You should be looking at each one of those as an opportunity to stack your deck, because you never know what kind of hand you're going to get dealt.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, Chris, yeah, go ahead, bro. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to help kind of give some context and bridge that gap to really what was going on during that time that we ended up taking this individual, or helping him out of his property, moving his stuff personally, putting it in the car, helping him, going back and forth, getting his girlfriend, there was a lot, man.
No, absolutely. And when we took this property over, more so, we crunched the numbers. Numbers looked amazing. We this was supposed to be a 6-figure situation, 6-figure deal, more so. Literally, guys, just imagine, everything is just going right until it's wrong. Until it's just wrong. We open up title. So let me just back it up just a little bit more. So after we had the contractor get done with his the last final thing, Jesse actually went back to the property to examine it, make sure everything was good before we actually listed it. And our realtor, we knew we did a good job, right? So we knew we did a good job in regards to that aspect, because there's some things we could have changed. Absolutely. Now, Wednesday, I just want to let you guys know. So Wednesday, Monday we were finished. Wednesday was, I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday, we had photos taken. And then we were supposed to go, I'm not for sure, it's called like a soft showing or a pre-showing or something like that on Friday to go live on Monday, right? Mm-hmm. So literally Wednesday or Thursday was photos. Friday we received a notification that we had a significant amount of people interested. Monday, already receiving offers. Already. Wednesday we're on a contract with one. Already, appraisal came back exactly what the offer is. It was phenomenal. And then all of a sudden, imagine you're celebrating a little bit. Never celebrate too late. Too early. And you get a phone call. You get a phone call from a title company or an escrow officer, whoever you're dealing with, or attorney, and saying, "Hey, we're actually set to close. However, they need information from the previous owner." Great, no problem. We can gather. If we have all the documents needed, we have all the documents ready. We can give you anything you want. Seller's good to go. But we get another phone call a couple of days later saying, "Hey, did you know the seller was dead?" I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke. I'm like, okay, great. Where's the punchline? I'm waiting for it. And just imagine hearing that, the seller's dead. And okay, never been in this situation. What do you do? And then, Jesse, we're trying to coordinate this and try to figure out exactly what the next step is, because we both never had a seller die, and we did our own due diligence. Like, okay, how did someone find out they died? Or like, where can we look? And to find out, we looked it up on the website. He did die in October. He did die, and during this process, and now it comes to, okay, did the seller really sell the property to us? Subject to. Now they got to do a little bit more investigating. Their underwriting team at this specific title company is doing a little bit more investigating, and now they want to know who was the notary. No problem. Notary, we gave them the notary's phone number. Who the person went out there? They contact the notary, and guess what? The notary had all her stuff stolen. No record. No record at all. Books stolen. So no record that she was there. No record that it happened besides the specific documents that we have. She can't. It's basically their word versus her word. Now, that's a curveball, right? So what do you do in that situation? And what happened is literally she, even the notary said, "Hey, we can go to court." She even said she can represent us. I can, testify. I was there. He signed it, the documents, and it was a lot, right? And in fact, a lot of people will just give up in real estate and this kind of stuff, and just like, what is the next step? What else? There's nothing else that can happen. There's nothing else. we didn't hit the worst. So then we had a realtor at this specific time, who I'm just gonna say had the gift of gab. And he actually notified not just the underwriters, but he notified a lot of individuals, not a lot of title companies in that specific area about the situation. So now everyone throwing out red flags. Nope, I don't want to touch the file. I don't want to touch this file. We're not closing on this file. You got to take it somewhere else. So we moved from one title company to another. That's the second title company. Then we moved to a third title company. Everyone's telling us no. Everyone's telling us no. We're not going to do it. There's too much going on. There's a lot of risk here. Is there any kin to the deceased seller, original seller, and then how do you guys really got ownership of the property? And then so we're going through that situation, and then to find out we received some information that we may have to go through like a probate process. And those who are familiar with probate is not as easy peasy one, a couple hours, a couple of days kind of situation. You're looking about a couple months, sometimes longer. So was that an option? Yes, but we wanted to check out all our options before even trying to attempt to see if we had to go that way. So we actually, after that, we actually reached out to a couple colleagues of ours, more so, and they're well known. They're well known in the community. Do you mind if I say their name, Jesse, or not? Keep it John Doe.
yeah, we'll keep it on that for now.
So we keep it. So John Doe and Jane Smith, amazing individuals. So we told about the situation, what was going on, and they never encountered something like that as well. And they've done thousands of deals nationwide, thousands. And so during that process, so I just want to just give you a recap. You have a deceased seller. You have a title company who's throwing up red flags that don't want to move forward. Not one, but three of them thus far. You also have a notary who can't provide proof that she was there because her books were stolen. And then during this process, gets started, a couple months go by, we're, again, guys, when we're taking over subject to transaction, you got to continue to make payments on the mortgage. So we're making payments on the mortgage, and one day we just happen to go in, the account is locked. The account is just locked. We can't go in, we can't make payments. Please, and it's actually Wells Fargo. please give us a call at this specific number. You know how they put the nice general, message to give us a call kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, maybe they just want to say hi. No, I'm just playing. But more so, they wanted to give them a call prompt. I'm like, okay, I can't make payments. What's going on? And then I did happen to call. I did happen to make that call, talk to a representative at Wells Fargo. I said, hey, just calling to make a payment on this specific account. They wanted to verify who I was. And, I verified myself. I was an asset manager to the asset, and went down the list. And then that's when more so they couldn't provide any information because they kept saying to me specifically, we need to speak to I'm not going to say the seller. I'm just going to say the seller. I'm not going to say his name, the seller. And I could not give him I couldn't give the phone to the seller because the seller's dead, right? I can't just dig him back up and say, hey, I need you to give him some information, right? So I literally got to a point where we had to end the call for the representative. And then we had to revisit exactly what the next steps look like. We have a lot of money in the line. We have lenders we need to make sure they get paid back. We need to ensure that everyone is paid in full. It was a lot of different things. So even during this process, we found out, I believe actually, Jesse, if I'm not mistaken, you actually went to the property to find out there was a letter on the door, right?
Yep.
And there was a letter on the door, and they basically changed all the locks in the house. They, meaning the bank. The bank actually went in there, changed all the locks in the house. We had no idea. Initially, we had no idea who did it. We had no idea, like, okay, what's going on? This never happened to us. We have no access to our own property that we own. Fully rehab. Imagine that, going to check out your rental, just to make sure everything is okay. And then also you have no access to your own property. No tenants in place, just fully rehab. So we're part up to like 7 or 8 different obstacles. And we keep thinking like, if Spanish 21 or blackjack, right now we're just busting out. We keep losing. There's nothing else we can do in this game. And it just kept going and going. So when Jesse actually gave me a call about the letter that was on the door, I thought he was kidding me. Like I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, okay, out of everything that's going on, there's nothing else that can happen. And yes, that happened. So now we're in a situation where, we're communicating with all parties to let them know exactly what's going on because, we have our lenders' money on the line. We want to make sure we're going to ensure they get paid back one way or another. At the same time, you never know. Like when you have lenders, they probably are using either their own money or a 401k, or maybe their savings. Maybe they're using their own money and need that back by a specific time. So is it a lot of different things? Like when you borrow money, understand the dynamics of, if they understand real estate. Like, did we want them to have their money back in like 3 months? Absolutely. 100%. 100%. And that's why we're very transparent with our lenders as far as exactly what's going on in this situation, because we have to be. We have to be. Luckily, we have 2 lenders on this specific asset, and they were very generous during the process, and they were understanding and got to a point where they're just understanding the full process. And trust me, no one expected the seller to die. If the seller didn't die, we would have closed on this property already, right? It's just the fact that it happens. And I'm actually thankful that we went through this process, because essentially we wouldn't know how to handle it if it ever happened in the future, or if somebody else went through it.
Chris, not only that though, dude, like not only those specific situations, but going through this. Sorry, I feel like I got a sneeze coming on. I'm trying to decide what it's going to do.
Bless you.
It'll come back. It'll come back. But dude, just the like David Goggins calls it callousing your mind. And what he's talking about is purposefully, going through difficult things every single day. And I know you guys have heard Chris and I talk about it. It's one of the things I love about Chris. Ever since day one that I met him, he was like, dude, you got to check this out. Like I have been so intentional with every day trying to do something that I'm gonna get uncomfortable with. Maybe it's having a difficult conversation, or maybe it's just even having a conversation I've never had before. No idea how to navigate it. whether that's with a lender or a seller, X, Y, and Z. And that's why he's so damn good at what he does, especially, whether he's talking to sellers or whether he's doing stuff as a TC. And so even going through this process, because like Chris said, man, you guys, we still haven't even there's so much shit to even like every little thing that comes up, man, you're like, oh my gosh, thank goodness this happened, because there's no way that this could get any freaking worse.
Yep.
There's no possible way. And then something happens, then something happens, then something happens, then another thing happens. And you're like, what the freaking crap is going on? But just going through this process alone, being willing to go through it, being willing to be a problem solver, to see it through. I feel like it has calloused Chris and mine's mindset in so many different ways, that just going through this one process alone has given us not only the knowledge on how to overcome it, but it gives us the confidence to be like, oh, dude, what we're about to embark on, these next steps for growing ourselves and our business, that's nothing. We need to be thinking bigger, way bigger. Only shooting for $1 million, bro? Really? Come on. Let's raise the roof here. Come on, Jesse. Why are you thinking so low here? You know what I mean? So just being like going through these little things like this, a lot of people don't take the time to really consider what the overall impact it's going to have by being able to solve these little things that happen. Because if you think there isn't like anxiety that comes from properties like this, then you're wrong. So going through the lows, right? As an entrepreneur, you got highs and you got lows. And as an entrepreneur, going through those highs and those lows, you could be on an all-time high and then you could be on an all-time low, bro. And you're like, gosh dang, what am I gonna do next? What is the next step here? And I know for those of you guys who attended community camp, one of the things that I loved, I caught a small, I didn't go, but I caught a small little glimpse on, Jerry Norton was talking about some of the deals and stuff that he's done in the past. And he's doing like a lot of luxury stuff now, but he mentioned like just anxiety and just the anxiety that you go through as an entrepreneur. One of his first things we started getting into luxury, I think he lost like almost $250,000. And then the second one he did, he broke even. And then the third one he did, he learned from those first two, not only what not to do, but he went into it even with more confidence each and every time. And now he's clearing, like he's doing flips where he's clearing like almost $1 million. He's netting almost $1 million. So if you're intentional with really getting in here and wanting to get uncomfortable and growing, and like I said, getting in here, building your connections, saying, guys, I love that you love cats, but where can we make some money? That's the conversation we need to be having. Where can we come into alignment here? Is so pertinent for your growth, your development, and both of those things are going to translate into what your life looks like, the things that you're manifesting, and to include right down to the cent that is in your bank account or will be in your bank account next week or next month, next year. So get super intentional with finding opportunities like this to grow, because even going through the rut of one deal, one problem, one whatever, it calluses your mind. It gives you the perspective to see things through a different lens that you otherwise wouldn't have ever had the ability to do. It's something you could never prepare for. It doesn't matter if you're in sub 2, you got access to millions of hours of freaking content, and you will going through all that content, none of that will prepare you for going through something like this. You have to actually go through it.
Well said, man. Well said. So yeah, as Jesse just stated, we still haven't told you. We're probably halfway through the even what happened. We're halfway through. We actually did know. Pace got involved for a little bit, him and his team, and more so. Again, I know we're over time and everything, so I don't want to hold everyone up, but we probably may have to save that last part for another day.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, let's do
next week. Will be a good one, kind of like a part 2, and then there will be. We'll give you guys some like action steps, something to think about and walk away with, where you can start implementing things.
Absolutely. So just to recap, guys, you had a deceased seller. You had a contractor who was replaced by another contractor. You had a title company, multiple title companies that couldn't facilitate the transaction. You had
now, guys, it's not like we have a million title companies here in Alaska. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, we're running out of people here.
And we also had a notary who her documents were stolen. So you got a lot of things going on. And just when it thought not just that, that's 5 right there. Then you got the
couldn't make payment.
Yep, and the doors.
Yep,
the doors. The lock change.
Possession of it. Yep.
I'm like, Jesus. So
we got it, turned everything off.
So you got a lot of different things going on, and transparently, guys, that is not it.
Yeah, we're about halfway through.
And the fact of, and we'll share it next week and let you know exactly how it ended and how is it still going. So we'll definitely let you know what that looks like. But no, we appreciate you guys listening. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. We're super excited about what we're super excited. It's almost finished, but there's so many obstacles that you guys you got to be prepared mentally. You got to have accountability partner. Like if you like transparent, I don't know if I would have been able to do this myself and get through this myself, because initially there's a lot of things that played a factor, just unknown, because I never went through it and still going through it. So more so specifically, guys, the reason we bring this situation up, because we share a lot of wins, but it's more so good to share the obstacles as well. And a lot of people don't share obstacles, and we want to be transparent and just more so let you like in on our business and what's going on behind the scenes, so it doesn't happen to you. Now we're going to speak a lot more in depth about what this looked like moving forward as far as this specific property. It definitely be a case study.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely go back and make a case study out of it. And it'll honestly, it'll probably be like a 10-part series.
Oh yeah.
Like step 1, this is what happened. This is the first obstacle. And then these are the things that we went through with that first obstacle. These were the issues. And then this is how we overcame it. It's case study 1A. Yep. And then there'll be a 1B. We'll probably have to do like a 10-part case study, but we'll bring on the people who is helping us with this deal as well.
Yep.
So you can hear things from their perspective on how they came in and how we all kind of came in. But guys, I really want to hit home on this really quick, because I know and I appreciate you guys being here, but I want to reiterate the importance of getting in here and being intentional with the people that are in here watching right now. Seeing where you guys can all come into alignment and build those relationships. Nothing will impact your business more than the state and the quality of your freaking relationships. And if I hadn't already had somewhat of a relationship with the individuals who are helping us now, I honestly have no idea, Chris, what we would be doing.
Agreed.
And Chris and I want to be of service in any way that we can as well. So if we haven't connected or if we haven't talked yet, please, 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 there's no reason we all shouldn't be working together and making money together.
Absolutely.
Shoot Chris and I a DM and we can send you our Calendly link. And let's find a time. Let's get intentional. So if and when these due opportunities come up, because they're going to, we would love to be an asset for you guys in any way that we can, in ways that Pace and other people have been resources and assets for us. Jeff McGrew, dude, it is Jeff's daughter's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
So the fact that you are here listening to this, bro, means a lot, man. Tell your daughter happy birthday for us, bro. Love you, man. Thank you for being here.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Amazing. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. We really appreciate it. Part 2 will be next week. And as Jesse said, we're going to make a series out of this, and it's going to be one to remember. I won't ever forget it. I can tell you that. I won't ever forget it, because that was the worst game of blackjack I ever played in my life. So, but guys, you're amazing. Thanks for always supporting us. We truly appreciate it. We do in the next hour and a half, 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. If you're a sub 2 student, we will be going live for the Friends with Benefits Zoom. So don't miss that. Again, that's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not for sure.
1 hour and 15 minutes from now.
There you go.
Make sure you guys are there.
Absolutely. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iHeartMusic, everywhere. Whatever your favorite platform is, listen to it. We're on there. Until next time, guys, we appreciate you.
Thanks for listening to the House of Cards podcast with Chris James and Jesse Stanton. We hope you've enjoyed this episode and have learned something new about real estate investing. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips and tricks. And don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Until next time.